The secret lives of Arab princesses. Most women in the Arab world are disadvantaged, and the most privileged women often have it worst of all. When Sheikha Latifa, Princess of Dubai, fled her home country in February 2018 and eventually boarded a yacht owned by a wealthy French socialite, her father, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Maktoum, quickly assembled a team to track her down. Within a matter of days, she had been forcibly returned home. The entire saga would have remained secret if not for a 39-minute video the now 33-year-old princess recorded before she fled, and which was leaked after she was apprehended. If you're watching this video, it's not such a good thing. She cautions viewers in a plea to save her. Either I'm dead or in a very, very, very bad situation. Princess Latifa's dire predictions seem to have come true now that her family has confined her to medicated house arrest. But her final act of freedom deserves attention. Together with the details of her thwarted escape attempt, the video offers a rare glimpse into the secret lives of Arab world's princesses and its other privileged women, and focuses light on the yawning gap between their storybook image and their dire reality. Most women in the Arab world are disadvantaged socially. Traditional families generally place severe restrictions on women. Depending on which tribe they are from, women may face restrictions on whom they can marry, how much freedom they have outside the house, if they can use social media, if they can travel, and where, if they can work, what they can study, when they can marry, and who can see their faces. Under Saudi Arabia's guardianship system, a male relative, a husband, father, or son in some cases has full authority to make critical decisions for a woman from a birth until death. This treatment extends to public institutions outside the family. Until recently, for example, the government-sponsored United Arab Emirates University prohibited female students from carrying a cell phone with a camera. Its campus for women is enclosed by a wall lined with barbed wire, and its gates are guarded. The university is still segregated, and female students can leave the campus with someone else if their guardians agree, who are then notified through a message once they leave. They use different wording, but the guardianship system is there. It's not just as extreme as Saudi Arabia, said Hiba Zaidin, a Human Rights Watch investigator in the UAE. In particular, she said there is no law against domestic violence against women. Marital rape is not a crime, and women who work without their husbands' consent are disobedient. To get around these restrictions, many Arab women practice deception. They use fake names online, wear face veils to cover their identities in public, hide burner cell phones from their families, and develop elaborate plans to sneak out of their homes. The punishment for those caught depends on which rule is broken. If a woman is found to be involved with a man, it would prompt the gravest punishment, including lashing, imprisonment, or honor killing. In Saudi Arabia, a detention facility called Dal Raya, infamous for torture, solitary confinement, and prolonged sentencing, houses cases of immoral behavior. At the age of 9, the Saudi women's rights activist Imani Al Hamadi was warned at her local school in Yanbo that girls who misbehaved would end up in the facility. The Arab world's women of privilege, whether they are members of the royalty or part of politically connected families, in many ways have worst of it all. For them is unbearable, said Hala al-Dusari, a prominent Saudi activist and scholar. They have means to live differently and a high-level exposure to women from other cultures. Privileged women aren't deprived of media that depicts the lives of the women in the West and often have direct contact with them. In an expat majority society, many of those working in the palace are foreign. Outside the palace, interaction with foreigners are frequent at private schools and while traveling to their family estates abroad. But these are just reminders of a life that aren't permitted to have for many of these women. Wealth is hardly a consolation for the inability to make the choices they desire. Compounding the problem is rampant hypocrisy. Many privileged Arab families prefer to present themselves to the outside world as liberal and worldly, Princess Latifa, for example, is the daughter of one of the most open Arab rulers of the Persian Gulf, often seen with his wife, Princess Haya bint al-Hussein, and daughters without head veils. Sheikh Mohammed has even spoken out against domestic violence and pushed for greater protection for minors in the country, but his treatment of his daughters belies that international image. That's because Sheikh Mohammed's rule at home also depends on being seen by his subjects as adhering to traditional values, and this burden is placed primarily on the question of women's rights in the family and the country. Any women who threaten the family's patriarchal image or its patriarchal public order are locked up, whether at home or by the state. It's not unusual for the women to face house arrest of that sort now imposed on Princess Latifa.